And we are going live. We might be live right now, and I look so funny just talking about the potential of going live. And we're live. Hello. Okay, let's see. Before we start, I want to see who's in the chat first, and it's Bad Beef again.
Nice.
And Bad Beef gifted a Keith and the Girl YouTube membership.
Oh, nice.
Which Bo took advantage of. Welcome to Keith and the Girl membership. Bo, Keith, could we please start?
Said I don't know if I've ever been good.
No, Keith.
Oh, we're live.
No.
Hey, welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Hello, Chemda. Chemda, how are you? We'll get to that. First off, let's introduce today's guests from the Am I the Asshole podcast. Danny Vega. Hello, Danny.
Hey, Keith, I'm stealing this nose squeezing bit from you. I've never seen a grown man do that in 20 years, so thank you.
Anything for humor. And the new co-host of Am I the Asshole, Shannon Dee. Hello, Shannon.
That's me. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. If this turns into a D's nuts joke, I want to tell you ahead of time. I saw it coming. All right.
That was actually my Twitter handle years ago when I had one.
Nice.
Shannon D's nuts.
Why would you let that go ever? I don't care what he turns Twitter into. You don't let it go. You don't let go D's nuts.
I know it's somewhere. I don't know the password, but it's out there.
You don't let go of D's nuts.
What are we turning into?
Chemda has COVID.
No.
Chemda has COVID, and she's trying to see a doctor. And like it seems we've been talking about lately on Keith and the Girl, it seems impossible. Is everybody finally going to the doctor now after the pandemic?
They must be. I was so upset because I started feeling like I'm getting sick yesterday. And I'm like, this has to be a cold. It feels like a cold. I'm going to take a COVID test anyway, because I just want to see how I treat this. You know, do I just throw NyQuil down my face, or do I take the COVID medication that I heard could, help with long-term COVID and the whole thing, right? So I'm doing the right thing. And I call the doctor and they're like, we're going to have to see you. And I'm like, okay, I just tested positive for COVID. It'll be telehealth. Can you do like Friday? And I'm like, why would I need to do Friday?
It's Monday.
Yeah. So I have an appointment tomorrow morning and I'm like, can I just get medicine until then? Oh,
wait, so you did test positive?
Yes, I have the tests. What are they going to see?
Right.
Yeah, really. There's nothing else. It's not like they have a treatment or anything.
You guys are treating me right now. Okay, how do I look? Do I look like I need some COVID medication?
Which is ironic. This weekend, me and my buddies were doing Paxlovid for fun. Just getting fucked up.
I thought that would be the easy part. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be an adult. There's a thing that I can take for this. I'm not going to neglect myself. I call the pharmacy first because I figure it's just like everything else with COVID. Like, just show up, just take it, just do the right thing, right? I call up the pharmacy. I hit 2 to get to the pharmacy. And I'm like, hey, I just tested positive for COVID. I don't know how to get this medication without getting all of you sick. And he's like, oh, you're going to need to like call someone, and they're going to have to call a pharmacy like CVS, because this is like a local pharmacy. And I'm like, okay, I just thought I'd call a pharmacist to see what I can do right now. And he's like, well, I'm not the pharmacist. And I go, I was about to say, why am I talking to you?
Right.
But he wouldn't even give me space. He was like, you could take stuff for the symptoms if you know. I'm like, are you listing what you're looking at the pharmacy right now, you child?
Or just Google.
Right. And then
I got some stuffed animals over here. I don't know. A lot of different products.
Are you guys good
bears.
Are you too good at dealing with stupidity over the phone? I hang up in 2 seconds. I get nothing done. I'm like, fuck you. I go, fuck you, die. And then I call back later with a new voice.
With a new voice.
I'm not exaggerating.
There's nothing that makes me madder, but I stay on the line. But I don't know what it is. It's just like instant rage. Like if Siri is wrong about something, I'll start punching my car. It's not good.
I know. Whenever I'm on the phone and like it breaks up, even with like my mom or someone that I'm close with, like I'm so viscerally mad at them about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not their fault in any way.
That's the thing. You end up sounding like an asshole, like right away. Like, oh, did I lose you? Hello? It's like, how did you get to that?
Can't hear you.
Hello, I'm annoyed by this already.
Well, I have big news. It's another celebrity death. Do I tell you now at the beginning of the show, Chemda, or do I tell you later?
Just consider that I already died and I'm dead through this podcast. So...
Right. In a more serious way, Paul Rubens passed away. 70 years
Oh,
old.
I
He was
saw that.
battling cancer in secret for at least 6 years. I don't know what.
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee
Is he
Herman,
the guy behind the sandwich?
Oh, he died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pee Wee.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I thought Pee Wee Herman
Oh.
was his name. I was confused.
You thought his name was Pee Wee Herman?
He looked like it. Did
The
not
parents
guy
knew
not
right
look-
away.
Paul Rubin, that's a joke name for this guy. That guy's name was Pee Wee.
You know, if I die, I won't be upset if people go, the girl died. Oh, her name was Chemda.
Right.
Holy shit. It wasn't the girl. I thought it was an Israeli name. She was born in Israel. You know.
Of course, Pee Wee's Playhouse. He whacked it in a movie theater. When I say movie theater, to be clear, not to disparage him, it was a porn theater. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Sit there and study it? Fucking weirdo. You should be arrested for that if your dick's not out.
That's
Why
what you're
was-
supposed to be doing there.
Yeah, why
I
was
am
that
s-
even a headline? What
Well,
was
I'll
the
tell
spin
you
on
why.
that?
So upset. I'm so upset that his legacy got tarnished, and with this, I jerk off in a porno movie, and you caught me, and I'm Pee Wee Herman. I was so upset that we got so upset by him jerking off in that theater.
I was too until I saw the tape. And he's whacking. He's like, and everybody's like, just can I enjoy this? No, of course not. Come on, guys. But
Do
yes,
people still go to those? Are those still things?
they're gone now. But I came to New York in 1996 and they were still there
When was his ordeal? Do you guys know?
before 96.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When
I feel like
Pete
that was a
says-
more recent thing though. Like, I don't know. I remember hearing about it, and I don't think at like 6 years old I would have heard about him jerking off.
A story like that
Never done.
lasts the test of time. You know?
Yeah.
Did the forest, or what am I trying to say? Did the carpet match the drapes? In other words, Pee
Yeah,
Wee
everything was
sort of-
white in that theater. Is that what you mean? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Pee Wee sort of sounds like
Tiny.
Pee Wee. You got me?
If you know what I mean.
You got me?
So where, Kenda, when you get COVID, you always got to ask the person, was it fucking worth it? Where where do you think you got it?
Of course, I start looking back. So this weekend was a big weekend for me. I went to the movie theater.
Oh, Kenda never does that
Mm.
So I'm like,
Does
okay.
Pee Wee?
because of Pee Wee. She
Because
doesn't.
Pee Wee.
Gotta do
She
it.
doesn't be like scratching a thigh and she gets accused.
And then I also went to a Chinese restaurant to celebrate a friend's birthday. And I shit you not. So that was Saturday. And we're saying goodbye. And someone goes to hug me. And I said out loud, but to myself, this is how we get COVID. Because I'm like, oh, we're hugging. And it throws me off right now
Yeah.
because usually we sort of like wave. And even though we are next to each other, I don't super go extra. And I hugged like 3 to 4 people, the extra long hug, because they were holding me. And I was like, all right, COVID's over. But, and also I was like, I let go and they were still hugging. And I was like, you know what? This feels good. I'm going to go with it. Apparently we're all safe. This is so nice.
Right.
Extra long hug, extra long
Extra long.
COVID. Oh
Yes.
no.
I know. I
Yes.
wish that's one thing that stuck with the pandemic etiquette is just the waving. I love that.
Right.
Yeah. So then,
Don't touch me.
Then they go, it's so good to see.
yes. And we start, I'm like, oh, let's all take pictures so that, we have pictures of this. And then we start a little group thing and we send pictures there. And then 2 days later, Chemda goes to that group chat like, P.S. I just got, and I'm thinking like, I'm acting in
She's
my
like, do you
head.
see what I see in picture number 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah, it feels
Then-
like it feels like we had an orgy and I have to tell you I got AIDS or something. That's
Right.
how texting them felt. I was like, hey, that fun thing we did together?
The
Check
really
yourself.
long hugs. The sensual long
God.
hugs.
Hey, we
Wait,
ate
did any of
Chinese
them get
food.
it?
So far, they're like, oh, so sorry to hear that. I'm like, all right, so then you're safe. Here's another thing. That was Saturday. On Sunday, I wasn't really around anyone. I'm coming home and my neighbors are very chatty with other neighbors. They sit on their stoop. They introduce us to other neighbors. So they were talking to another neighbor. And I'm like, I already feel sick. So now I'm trying to get into the house as soon as possible so that they're not having me breathe on people. They introduced me. I wave. I would have to take 2 steps to physically touch this person. I waved, nice to meet you. He insists, extends his hand. I'm like, okay, I wave again. I'm like, well, here it comes. I didn't take a test. Here's COVID. And then I realized my neighbor is, what do you call those people who don't believe in it?
All deniers.
Oh,
He's a denier.
anti-masker.
So I don't even know if I should bother telling him like, hey, I shook this other guy's hand who insisted I have COVID now. I don't know what to do. Is it like getting a sexually transmitted disease and now you have to go
Are
back
you responsible to tell them?
So now I'm posting it so that I could be like, if you were around me and you're reading this, the bitch fell off.
Right. Fuck your neighbor for not listening to your show. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
We can't tell more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
care what I do. You're my neighbor.
Follow my life.
Yeah. So looking back, the Barbie movie, let's say it was that where you got COVID. Worth it?
Nothing's worth it.
I just checked.
Worth it. I'm talking to you guys right now. It's the
I
same.
thought you were super afraid of it or like immunocompromised or something.
I am, but after the vaccines and now that it's mild, now that it's not taking people out by the thousands,
right?
I feel more confident. I'm not going to die from it. I'm just going to suffer and be annoyed.
Yeah. How are
Hey
your
guys,
symptoms?
when are you gonna get your studio back? Oh, gee, we don't know yet.
Yeah, that's
Is
what
it
I
like
thought.
having the flu? Is that how your symptoms are?
Not
now?
even. It's like having a cold. It's just annoying, blowing
Not
nose,
bad, yeah.
and like I'm just ugly. You know.
I disagree. Though,
Oh wait,
'cause
are we allowed
I-
to use the word ugly anymore?
You're
I
not.
don't think
See
so.
the movie.
I don't think we are.
I said Hemda looked hot before the show. I think she has hot COVID. I think this might be the new strain. We've gone through
No,
a
but
lot of
you're
stuff.
always
glowing.
lying.
She's got the COVID glow.
I'm not a liar. How dare you? I'm always honest.
Hemda said, "Why do I have to work today?" But Newsy didn't have to do his show, and I said, "It's not called Keith in the News. All right, we got a show to do, and that's that." Now you don't see Barbie and then keep it to yourself. Of course, Hemda wanted to be here.
I have to. I saw this movie. It's 2 hours long. It felt like 2 hours long. I'm not shitting on it. I'm not shitting on it.
Yeah.
I
loved
laughed,
it.
I cried, but to be honest, me and my movie theater, which we're now family, I think is what happens. Me and my movie theater full of women, and there was so much more crying than laughing. So much more crying. We almost walked out like it was a funeral. Like it was. And remember, okay, so I think did everyone here
We've all
see
seen it.
Okay.
Yes.
Keith
So
saw
there
it.
was-
Keith really needs it. Sorry, go ahead.
I liked it a lot, but I knew everything already, Danny. To be honest, so it didn't blow my
Yeah,
mind.
exactly. Sure you did, Keith. You knew it all.
Well, yeah. So remember the speech that she was saying, and like, men get a pass at this, and they go over here, and they go, and it's like this long speech. At the end of it, you heard this at the movie theater. Oh. And then followed by,
I cried. I
and
was with
then-
a woman who didn't cry. It was really awkward. Go ahead.
oh wow, hold that thought, please, because at the end of that, it was that sound. It was removing tears from your eyes, and then it was almost an ovation. Like you heard a couple claps, and then we all simultaneously was like, "Let's not interrupt," and then it continued going. Oh, it's so sad. You went with someone who didn't cry.
Yeah, I cried at that speech. That line really stuck with me. It's impossible to be a woman. I was like, man, that's brutal. I never felt that way.
Be thin but not too thin. We don't say thin, we say healthy, but seriously, be thin. And then it goes on and on about all the the irony women have to deal with. Yeah. And was it a date or just a friend?
Just a friend. I've known her many years, but yeah,
You knew that she was
cried.
cold as ice?
Has she cried at anything else?
she pet me because I was in a weird place because I was like, do I want her to see me cry because that's kind of cool and like progressive? But then I was like, maybe I don't. So, but then she kind of
She
gave me like
pet
a
you?
soft little pet, and I was like, well, I guess now that I've been noticed, I was obviously it's because I'm so progressive and feminist. That's why I'm crying.
Where does she pat you on your head like we do women?
God damn it.
They're
Make him
there.
watch it again. Make him watch it again.
I didn't cry actually.
But you're so pretty.
I had that exact thought, Shannon, because like there's that great line with Margot Robbie where they're like, they're making some point about how if you're not good looking enough, and they're like, note, do not cast Margot Robbie if you're trying to make this point.
I thought Danny brought Barbie to the show. Like I was like, what a booking coup. Like this is amazing.
Thank you.
I'll be Middle Eastern Barbie, and this way we can hang.
There we go. COVID Barbie.
My theater had a lot of especially during the America speech. That's right. Almost like they're looking around behind, like, did you catch that?
I feel like Keith is aging
you.
Alan, like Alan as a middle-aged man.
How dare you?
I think it's very lucky that no one was allowed to pause the movie, because like Keith said, it was like I would pause and be like, should I rewind that?
Right.
Yeah.
You need to hear that one more time. And so it was all of that. There was a lot of crying. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, conservatives are angry, men are angry. And I thought to myself, like, you should be angry. We called you stupid idiots the whole time, start to finish. But you should be angry in a way that tells you why we're angry.
You should be embarrassed that you're angry.
Yes.
This is all they did actually perfectly was depict, here's what it's like in a fake world where you're down. Here's what it's like in the real world where we're down, and you were uncomfortable for the first time.
For 2 hours.
Know how to deal with it. But
it's like they never heard of this concept before. It's like brand new information for them.
But it's very upsetting. It's like, the 10 guys who run Mattel are bumping into each other, trying to like actually do work. And I don't know how to tell you this, guys. Yes, that's how we think of you. Fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see how you think of us. We're detectives in your movie finally, but we're running with 5-inch heels. That's interesting. Is that reality to you? And I didn't like, Whoopi Goldberg I saw was like, guys, it's a movie. No, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, it's art. It's depicting life.
Yes, it's sending a message. I think that guys could be upset by this. Go ahead and be upset. Were you harassed? No. Were you depicted as buffoons? Yes, you can go ahead and be upset at that, but then, find the bigger picture.
Yeah.
How do you play yourself?
Because it's true.
How do you hate it so publicly? And I guess, are you a flat out grifter? And so you're a Ben Shapiro and you try to get me riled up and then I buy your product and send you money? Or are you really upset and not embarrassed? You're telling everybody your dick is an innie.
Exactly. It would be embarrassing that you're upset about this.
Yeah.
No, I think that you can show being upset because it is something to be upset about. When you depict us as buffoons, when we get upset, you go, why are you being so sensitive? So now we're depicting you as buffoons and you're getting upset, but you're not getting the bigger message. There is no bigger message when you depict us like that. You're just honestly depicting us like that. No matter what, it was a cartoon and we were depicted like that. It was children's shows. It was rated PG, PG-13, rated G. We were always buffoons. We always needed your help. We always needed rescuing.
Yeah, damsel in
This is
distress.
the first movie that just said, hey, we wrote this as a female part and then gave it to men, and then you were upset.
And you wouldn't be upset if it wasn't true. We really do admire The Godfather. We do love Rocky. I did play Matchbox 20 adult girl before. They're right.
Hemda and the boy.
Shit up.
That's what I'm
Keith
thinking.
Right, Hemda and the boy.
Yes.
One of my favorite lines is about, and I was criticized on this very podcast. I won't name any names, but it was a certain individual who's here and has a very shiny, beautiful scalp. That my emotion.
That's just COVID.
I didn't mean you. What my emotions that I cried, and this person made fun of my cry repeatedly, which actually made me cry privately.
Oh, right. Because I'm sorry, just real quick, Shannon, to fill you in. Do you know how he cries? Like, that's all I was saying. Danny, please continue.
I've never seen him cry like that.
Well, I have.
Well, certain people are, they're not in touch with their emotions, so they're jealous of. And I hope those people paid attention to the part of the movie where the woman, I believe she was a Supreme Court justice, was like, I use logic and emotion and they work together, because I thought that was a very important part. And there's a lot of good dialogue. Let me just go down hard on that. Great dialogue in this movie.
And great outfits.
Now,
Great accessories.
May I say, kudos to the movie. Yes, very good. You got all the points. You got all the feelings, but we should all be upset by the movie, not just the conservatives. What the fuck? Did I just pay $20 to go to the summit and watch the final video for the rebranding of Mattel? What? These people came to you and said, remember Barbie and how we fucked your shit up when we first put this out? And then we pretended like we were being real by taking your ideas and going, how about astronaut Barbie? And you were like, why are you trying to placate us? But we'll take it anyway and continue buying it. And then they were like, how about slightly bigger ass Barbie? And we were like, that's a little bit better, but you're still fucking with us. And then they were like, how about this movie where we say exactly what we did to you, but we make us look like buffoons, which is another version of the PR apology that we usually get from people, but it's a bad apology. This was written really well by the best PR and given to us. Oh, why can't Barbie just be the visualization of a child being in their fantasy land? Why? Because look at the beginning of the movie. What the fuck? They got us all. They even were you guys not surprised that we didn't exit through a gift shop after this movie? What the fuck? You're all coming back here like this is just women power? This is fucking Mattel power to the fucking 1000th degree, and no one's talking about that. We're fighting against each other for Mattel. The fuck is wrong with you?
And I give it two thumbs up.
Yeah, because they said so. Look, they wrote something good, but they fake apologized, and you guys didn't catch it. They fake up. They're like, well, we talked about it. They're talking about how Mattel, you know, they're the ones that did this, and they're making fun of themselves. Yes, it's like those fucking rapists who come on with their apology. If I hurt anyone, I'm so sorry. I didn't do it, but I'm a better person now. Like all this shit, that's exactly what this movie is. And yes, it was written well and told our part also, but that's what they do with those fake apologies. You come up with this rounded view of, look, we could see you now. We're on your side. And they even said, how about regular Barbie? Oh, was I just sold the new fucking coming out Barbie? And the guy was like, oh, that sounds stupid. Well, it looks like it's going to make us a lot of money. Oh, I'm still an asshole, head of Mattel. We're going to put that out. They stopped the movie a few times to go, this outfit is available and it's called this, and this is what you should Google and look for. Buy it now. We were actually put on pause. You know, the pause button that you wanted to say, like, hey, did you catch that speech? You might be a better person if you catch what I'm catching right now. They paused it for you. Here's the outfit you can get. Here's the new doll you can get. Nobody saw this as a 2-hour commercial that you paid money for?
No, I agree. I was okay. Yeah. I was okay that even if it's a trick, I was okay with the parts where they did seem to attack Mattel.
No, because
being in charge of Mattel,
they're attacking Mattel. They're attacking Mattel like they attack themselves when they say they're sorry for what they're not sorry for. They are attacking themselves to show fake humility, to go, look, we're down on the ground. You're down on the ground. Millions and millions of dollars are being made because of this fucking movie. And you're all wearing pink for it because you know what you said ahead of time? I'm buying in ahead of time. Mattel told me to wear pink.
And did you hear Mattel's doing like a million other movies like Barney and I heard like Uno or something?
Why not? Every movie like this.
Polly Pockets, Hot Wheels.
If they make the Draw 4 be a good guy, I'm going to be pissed off. Ken is right.
Yeah, I mean,
just like I get it, but it is like it is sort of like using God. You know, God can give you a really good feeling, a sense of community, a sense of like when you're down, there's a place to go to, there's a leader that you can turn to. But they're giving you the things like, hey, don't you feel lonely? Don't you need community? Well, believe in this dude or be damned to hell, or try to have a nice life if you accept everything we tell you to do. There is no take what you like and leave the rest. There's a fake take what you like and leave the rest. When you have weird priests going, yeah, I'm good with you people being gay, and I'm good with you people like listening to half the Bible. And you know that's bullshit. You know that's bullshit to keep this bullshit going. That is what this movie is. So yes, it's very good. Yes, I can go to church and have a great time. The songs are great. The community is fantastic. I get to hug people again, right?
Ooh.
Okay.
I like your heat on this. I understand it. I mean, it was branded content, and I think you're right that maybe got glossed over because we were so like, wow, look at this. It opens with an homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is a real film, but it's like, no, this is a real commercial. It was a commercial.
At the end, I'm sorry to cut you off. It started with a commercial, and at the end, I sat through the credits just in case. And also, I like to sit through the credits. I sat through the credits. It was commercial after commercial for the dolls. And I know they were making fun of it. Like, look, this is the doll that failed us. You're still showing us commercials.
I think you're right. I like that you're raising that point. I think a lot of people did it. But I do think for a commercial, I thought it brought a lot. I mean, I was thinking of it as, I hope some young boys see it. I think I would have done really well to have seen this as a younger man. Yep. I think a lot of it's played out for us. You guys, we're all like,
it's not played out. It's beautifully written, and it's written well enough for people to understand if they want to. But the Bible is the same way. You get a beautiful feeling. Some of the stuff feels really good. Some of the stuff is really good advice. Don't covet other people's shit. You're only going to live a bad life. So yes, few of the commandments are a really good idea, but what you're using it on a whole should be a little bit something. Now, if I didn't have COVID, that something would have come out like a word.
And I would have taken a
really
bow.
Good word. Yes. But I can only drop my glasses. So dropping the mic is next time. Remember, okay, I'm sorry. One more thing. Remember, I don't know if you remember this. At the beginning of really the internet's hype, like the beginning, there was this gene thing. This before everyone was doing amazing videos, parkour, like how did you do that type thing. There were these people who were swinging and then jumped into jeans that people were holding.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, look at this. We passed it around to every single person. You guys still remember it, and you're at least 10 years younger than us. That's when the internet was first like, oh, this is a viral video, and only one viral video happened a day. Like it was a very big deal. Do you know what that thing was? It was a commercial. It was a commercial for the jeans. It was put out like a viral video, but it actually had all of the plans behind it as a commercial. And that's what I think this is. Thank you. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy jumping into the jeans. I wondered how soft those jeans are. How could you jump right in? All of those things were happening. They were right. It was entertaining. It was all of the things that we got to share with our friends about, and it was being used to control us. Thank you.
Well, you're not wrong, of course. I saw Oppenheimer, and I'm supposed to be thinking about the tragedy of the race war, but all I know, the arms race, and I get home, first thing I do is buy plutonium. They got me.
Nice.
They got me. But by the way, people, when this so-called double feature, we're going to see Barbie and Oppenheimer, and what order we see them in, it's going to be a big day. The numbers are in by now, you liars. Yeah. Oppenheimer, though it did great, is nowhere close to the numbers Barbie did. It's funny that the genius that made Oppenheimer, and I say genius because he did like Inception, he did a whole bunch of great epic things. He won't have a number one movie this time. That's a little funny.
I mean, for me, when I think about the three worst crimes against humanity, I think Hiroshima, Nagasaki, making a 3-hour movie. It's too long. Right. It is too long. You know what I did? I have the movie pass, and the movie theater is right next to me, and I know how to time the previews and all that. I left the movie Oppenheimer halfway through, knowing, which I just did, I'm going to see the other half a different time and break all the rules. So when I say it is a great movie, I can't imagine sitting down for 3 hours, though, because at the end, especially, it gets a little redundant. We get it. You're having a conflict in your head about what you built. You know what the fuck you built. You did it. Move on. The bomb that killed many innocent people as well as evil people. You know that. What are you, for an hour? I wonder if I should have. And then it's funny when I come in, I'll tell you the whole process of that, but it wasn't as easy as I thought. Next time I would buy a ticket for a different movie and go into the movie late. What I did
was buy the ticket for a movie that you could buy, because you can't buy a movie once it started. And I said, hey, I'm actually going to the other movie. What theater's that in? And the guy's like, ooh, I don't have the seat information for that. I'm like, I'm not going to bother anybody. But I already saw the first half. Oh, like, okay, never mind. It's like, yeah, don't you want to see the whole movie though? And I go, you know what? Yeah. And he goes, oh, so you'll come back. And I'm like, no, I'll stay since I'm here. But you're right, real smart. And then I just found the movie, but oh my God,
you
what
could
did
have
I do?
just figured it out on your own, right?
I should have just found it. But no, instead
like
I'm not doing anything wrong. You're getting the same
and also,
money.
couldn't you have paid like online earlier?
Oh, yes. God, women are smart.
I like how you were just like, well, I'm going to see the other half of the movie. Like he's supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's very normal. Yes, many people are doing that. Totally normal thing. Yes, that fits into an established pattern of behavior we're all familiar with, sir.
Well, I didn't mean to blow their fucking mind.
It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Is it genius? Yes.
But then I get there, so I'm at the second half, and guess what's happening the whole second half? People running to use the bathroom. People running to use the bathroom because they don't want to miss something. Every scene in this movie is like a minute long. It moves kind of fast.
Oh, wow.
Somebody runs, they come back, they realize they missed the atom bomb exploding. No. You don't need a 3-hour movie. Can you imagine you saw a 3-hour movie, you missed the bomb exploding?
You blew
Can I offer for? I know that theaters are already built, and they're very precious. And good job, LA. But what about this? When we build a new theater, what if you got to go through the theater, and then when you go down below, that's the entrance to the bathroom of that theater, and you can only get there because you already paid your ticket, and you have to go through the seating area to go to the bathroom. Which means the movie is playing in that bathroom, so that when take a break, your association with that bathroom exists because you have to go through there.
But when there's a quiet part in the movie,
so you can watch it while you're going to the bathroom. Is that what you mean?
Yes,
but
every theater would have to have its own bathroom. Not a bad idea.
If it's a noisy number 2, you gotta leave. Shamefully.
No, the noise will cover it. Unless it's like a really dramatic monologue and there's a really long pause.
I hear other theaters sometimes if I'm watching something slow or serious, like Oppenheimer, the bomb goes off, you see it for like a minute before you hear it, and it's perfectly quiet. You'd be able to hear Barbie singing next door. So I don't know that people know how to soundproof.
You got to time your shit with the atomic bomb.
Right. We have Run P that they have and shit. And it tells you when to drop your deuce, the loudest parts of local movies.
There's an app. I seen it on the App Store, and it tells you how to time your restroom breaks.
Oh yeah. Run P. Yeah. We talked to that guy. It's genius.
Oh, for the movies, for each movie?
Tells you when to take a break and tells you what you missed if you click another button.
That 3-hour movies really should still have intermissions. Like, remember Titanic?
It had an intermission?
Titanic had an intermission.
Oh.
At least where I saw it.
You saw it on a double VHS tape and your dad gave you a break.
I don't understand why they don't want to do pauses. I get the turnover, but because then you refill your popcorn and you refill your drinks, and refills are cheaper, right?
Oh,
refills are free or some shit, right?
Well, I think they're ending that now. I heard that Harkins now charges for a refill.
I say
put
a pause in, put a pause in, and put a bar in, and then people break and they get a drink like it's an adult outing.
Yeah.
What was the Civil War era movie that Tarantino did fairly recently? Hateful Eight. That had an intermission. Everybody loved that.
Yeah, I think they're great.
I think the Keith Malley custom intermission is interesting to me. You got to pay an upcharge, but it's kind of like make your own intermission, baby. I mean, see the last third if you want,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I my intermission, I get late, I go to the bathroom, I grab lunch. I'll see you on Tuesday.
That's what you should turn. You should turn your place into some weird Airbnb pause for movies. Like, hey, just come here for 4 hours in between the movie. Let it start again and go back.
Take a little break.
I also love, it's so stupid. I didn't even think buy the ticket early, but I love being at the, seat of my pants. Is that a saying? I love, going
Fly
at
by
a
the seat of
moment's
your
notice,
pants.
fly by the seat of my pants. I like that.
Because you said you have that movie pass thing. Yeah.
So you still pay for it, of course, but yes, everything's basically
But it's
free.
cheaper, right?
It's much cheaper. Yeah, it's like it's worth it. It's the price of less than 2 movies a month. Not to be a salesman.
Nice.
Here. Yeah, and I take advantage. Oh well, but it is. Yeah, everybody's running around, idiots. Who's the asshole? They are stupid.
And it's so hard. It's so hard to see a movie. I think you have to be like Keith. You live close. You have a movie pass. You know the timing of the commercials in the front, because it's you got to get tickets now, and there's no seats. It took me this whole week to figure out when to see a movie. When I go to comedy, I just go. When I go to other things, I just go.
I mean, it's a to-do, this world, but we do our best. Anyway, what would you give Barbie 1 to 10, because we're confused.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I know that you're very disappointed at that. What would you guys give?
I don't want to say the word. It's kind of a pussy thing to do, but I would say I'd give it an 8. I'd give Oppenheimer a 9.
I was going to give it an 8. But I want points off for, like, I know what you're doing, so I cut it in half. Like, the movie's 8, but then if you can take your fucking bullshit out of it, like the more commercials, pausing the thing to buy things, then you get a 4. But really, in my heart, it's an 8. Does that?
I think it could have been like an hour and a half. Honestly,
Yes.
I think it could have been like a sketch on SNL.
Right,
It would have gotten
too.
the point across.
I did too. Could have been 20 minutes, and you go, that's fucking good, and then you can send it to friends easily.
It could have been just that speech.
8.5.
8.5.
I thought it was
right?
so good, and the set design was so good, and I thought a child could enjoy it. I don't know any kids, but I was like, a kid could get into this part. The dancing.
Oh
I
my
thought that.
God.
I
Did
thought
you
a
like
kid
the?
could
I'm
get
sorry,
into the whole
Danny.
thing.
Did you like the dancing?
No, that's the one part I didn't like. But I was like, you got to deal with some dancing. It's a Barbie movie. Gosh.
That's life.
May I tell
loved
you
his
that
song.
when they went into dancing, like when they were like, oh, we're just gonna go home and just do a choreographed dance, and I'm like, wow, there's no way that a lot of people like this. But I felt like, I'm like, no shit, this is what happens in my head all the time. This music and choreographed dancing in my head as a fun activity that happens. So I'm like, wow, okay, maybe this is a thing that other people do. And I'm like, there's no way, if you're not doing that in your own head, that you are enjoying this very lengthy choreography. It was very long.
Just in your daily life, like when you got COVID, you had a choir behind you singing about it.
Non-COVID, non-COVID.
I mean, I do choreography in my head when I'm like, I could be on my bike, I could be walking, I could just be sitting around choreography in my head.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I do like music videos a lot. Like I rollerblade and listen to music, and I imagine like everyone breaks out in song and dance with me.
When you saw it in Barbie, people were rollerblading. Did you feel like the rest of the audience didn't get it as much as you did?
Yeah, it was definitely an inside baseball kind of thing.
And now they're going backwards, and I do that sometimes.
Can I just say, I think one of the funniest lines of the movie was kind of targeted toward us as podcasters, dare I say it. The line about the I forgot how we got there, but it was like the weird, unimaginable things would happen. And they were like, a podcast by 2 old trees or a chorus of 20,000 young single fathers.
Right.
I love this line.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
You know what? I love
it.
all of the times where in TV and movies and in pop culture, they make fun of podcasts, because when we first started this podcast in 2005, we weren't even hearing the word. And when somebody was like, what do you do for a living? And I said, podcast, I stopped saying podcast because I used to have to explain it. It used to sound like I'm in my mother's basement saying like, I wanted tuna fish, not cheese, like all kinds of shit. So I stopped. And now it's like, okay, why don't you do a podcast on that so I could unsubscribe? And I'm like, they know what a podcast is. This is crazy.
Yay, we did it. We did it.
Unsubscribe. It's in the zeitgeist. Finally.
18 years later, and now we're a joke. We did it.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of which, I would love to do a couple Am I the Assholes with you both, if we may. And I think we may because I know you brought some. So at your leisure, please.
We've got the perfect one to take us from our Barbie discussion. Here we go. AITA for begging my girlfriend to uphold a sexist tradition just so she can make a good first impression.
Ooh, I love this one. Thank you for bringing it. I love this one.
I wonder what side I'm going to be on.
But we're always asking our mate to code switch a little bit when they enter into our old universes, right?
Yes.
Please continue.
Yep.
I have a big family that's really close. We have big family dinners every few months where we all meet at my great-grandfather's estate and eat together.
Sorry, is this the dude?
Yes.
Okay.
Typically how this works is that the women go cook for the time they're there and the men don't, which I'm fully aware is sexist as hell. That said, I'm one of the youngest people in the family, and my protests mean nothing. Some of those women choose not to cook. However, this is usually met with a level of ostracizing. The women who don't cook are live-in and long-term girlfriends, so they kind of already have a good family relationship doctored in. When I have seen new partners not cook, it's gone bad, like ostracized, not speaking, cattiness, rudeness. This dinner will be in 2 weeks, and my girlfriend was asked if she would attend. Initially, she said yes, which is great. I want for her to meet everyone and for everyone to get used to her being around, but when I explained to her the tradition, she was bothered. I told her that I understood where she was coming from. However, it was best for everyone if she played along. I told her this isn't a permanent thing and that I'm only
best for everyone. Well, I mean best for everyone, not the person I'm talking to.
I told her this isn't permanent and that I'm only asking her to do this so she can avoid bad treatment from the rest of the fam. This is her first impression, and I don't think it's best if we cause waves. She told me it's unacceptable and that if she has to do that, she won't be going. I've tried to find a compromise with her on this, but she won't budge and she's pissed at me. She told me that if I think that's acceptable to make her do this, I'm just as bad as everyone else. Well, my point is she needs to make a good first impression. AITA.
The word unacceptable is a big one, and I'm not taking it away from her. I'm saying, there's your fucking answer, dude. It's unacceptable. Thank you.
Well, I was thinking, okay, so I'm from Israel, and I'm not a Jew anymore. I was raised Jewish. I went to yeshiva. It helped me become atheist. But if you go to Jerusalem and you want to get near the Wailing Wall, if you're married, you have to cover your head. If you're a dude, you have to cover your head. If you present like a dude, you will not be going to the female side. There's a bunch of sexist, old world, old school, because you are actually standing in front of an old wall and they have traditions. So do you want to go to Jerusalem and see the Wailing Wall and touch it and like experience it? I have to wear a skirt. I have to have it be covering my whole legs. I can't show my collarbone. I can't show my wrist. I have to cover up. And if I am not wearing something that covers up, they give you something to cover up. So it's on me to go, all right, I'm about to go in here. These are the rules of this house. I either go inside or skip that adventure and see other things in Israel. I think that goes to people's families. I think it goes to, if you're in a mosque and if you want to experience going inside a mosque, you might have to take off your shoes. You might have to kneel. So if you want to come, I don't know what to tell you, then don't come. And I think that should be fine too.
When we did this situation.
Right. Or I'll come, but understand I don't respect it. I did go to the Wailing Wall. I just know it's a big cultural worldwide thing. I didn't respect it or any of the rules.
But did you put on a yarmulke?
Yeah, sure. But it's a joke to me. So your family will be a joke to me if I do that, is my point.
Right. But out in front, you are putting on the yarmulke. You are respecting it outside. Inside, you understand that this is a joke. So now, are you asking
outside? It's pretty clear. Outside, it's a joke too. I had a Poison T-shirt. It's pretty clear that family over there didn't care for me too much. All right, and also when my girlfriend comes over and doesn't want to cook, but I convince her and make her to. How am I in the living room happy for a couple hours instead of worrying what's going on in there? Everybody's stomach is turning. What's the fucking point?
Yeah,
and what would you do?
Point.
What would you do? Because we are in the same boat. These guys can say whatever they want and they're going to be sitting on the couch regardless. So who cares what they say? What do you say?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, my opinion of this was similar to what you're saying. I had a similar situation with my mom. We went to Thailand and she made like a whole stink, like really loudly about how we had to cover up our legs and my dad didn't. And we were like, Mom, you're not going to change this like tradition of this entire country. Like one white woman, coming out here and changing the whole rules. And
right. And by the way, if your mom wanted to change it, she could cause a ruckus. She's going to jail, though.
Exactly.
That's what rebels get. They understand that, like, if I rebelled against this tradition in my home, I don't get to have parents anymore. That's the give and take. So you don't have to go to your boyfriend's parents' house. You don't have to be with his traditions. You won't get to have in-laws and he won't get to share it. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that's the give and take. What do you want?
Right. And that was my point of view too, is like, I find this situation unfortunate and how they're really catty and that they only expect the women to do it. That's terrible. But, you're coming into a dynamic that's already been laid out. And as a guest, I usually offer to help cook and clean anyway. It's a polite thing to do. So I think at least for your first time, you need to go and kind of go with the flow of it. I understand.
How about scrub the toilet? How about the first day you scrub the toilet?
There's no toilet.
Well, that's crossing the line.
Don't make up anything. And by the way, you looked great in that yarmulke. So
I put the pictures up. Thank you.
Let me see that. I think you look beautiful. So my take here is similar to Shannon's. I feel like, listen, do a lot of households operate with this dynamic? Of course they do. And that is a symptom of the disease of sexism in our society, of prescriptive gender roles where women do all the housework. They have the career, women basically do everything. It's impossible to be a woman, as Barbie put it, baby. That said, she is being asked to go and feel it out. This is OP's impression, the boyfriend's impression of what it is, and that's fair. I think it's an accurate assessment. He's not lying to her, but she's being asked to go. If she doesn't want to cook, she doesn't have to cook. She can leave. I feel like if I had to go to my, girlfriends and their family does a big fishing trip, I don't care about fishing. I don't like fish.
Are you offended by fish?
Not
or
offended.
do you eat fish, actually?
I do eat fish. I like.
Are you allergic to it? And they're making you eat it.
Yeah.
When I was in
like
Israel,
hunting.
I had come to take pictures of me next to the wall. That's making a joke of it. Here's what you do while your girlfriend's cooking. Just keep taking pictures. It's like, why are you taking so many pictures? Oh, because it's a joke. All right, I'll be in the living room now.
I don't know.
Yeah, why does this have to be the first impression? Extended family dinner. Make a new first impression a different time.
And then in this situation also, it's like, oh, well, this is a sexist tradition. Okay, so then the idea here is that all these women, grown women, adults, you're going to go in and be like, you guys are the victim of sexism. That is so condescending and juvenile.
So not the first. So first impression is fine. Do it. What about the sixth impression? What if it's a year later, it's time for this dinner? No. Oh, I didn't tell you the first time I hated it. So I'm not going to do it anymore. But now that we're friends, you can hear my opinion, obviously.
I think she goes once. If she doesn't like the vibes and that's it, that's fair, babe. Whatever. I guess you're not going to.
Think she ends up loving it? She's like, actually, I'm making dessert too.
Well, may I say that this is actually what my household experience is. If I go to Passover dinner or whatever it is, that family will be there, the women will serve, and when the first there's courses, when every course is done, all of the women get up and move things to the kitchen and bring the next course. I didn't. Maybe there was some animosity. My cousin, who's 10 months younger than me, would be like, I guess you're sitting, and I'm like, I guess you're playing into this, and I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but don't come at me like that. So there was stuff like that, but I chose to understand that there's enough helping hands here. And if you don't need another guy to help you, I don't even know. Like, I'm just not, there's enough women working. But then now, as I say this, I'm like, well, what I'm saying really is, fuck you, Mom. You got this. and now it's that conflict between the women of the house. And that
exactly
sucks. But it's always the decision. It's always, but that wasn't my household. But surprise, I don't talk to my parents. And surprise, when I was talking to my parents and I was going to these holidays, I didn't always invite whoever I was with. And when I invited the boyfriend or whatever, I was like, hey, no one's going to like you because you are the devil with their perfect angel. You're not Jewish. You're not exactly what they wanted. You're not going to be ever what they wanted. Do you want to come? Yeah. They'll say snide remarks in different languages and you will feel them.
Right.
You'll suddenly feel like you know Hebrew and Persian. You know Arabic after fucking it, because they will find all of the languages that they know to shit on you without covering it up somehow. I mean, come just to see this.
Right.
That's what I say. Yeah, come just to like experience it. Go like, you didn't exaggerate. And I go, yeah, enjoy. Take video. This is amazing. Yeah.
I can't imagine telling my girlfriend I think something's unacceptable and she keeps going.
No,
I can't imagine.
Unacceptable.
No, I understand. I'm saying if it was different. I'm saying me, if I said something's unacceptable and she's like, but can't you just do it for me? What made me say it's unacceptable to the person I love? Fuck out of here.
I think I'm softening. Look, I think that the fact here, let's just put it this way. I think that the way that OP is framing this comes from this, like, I'm young and hip and this is my family is sexist and they're all consenting adults. I think it's a little bit ridiculous, but just on the fact that he sold it so poorly, as Keith said, that she deemed it unacceptable. Can I really expect her to go? So I actually think I'm going to change my verdict on this and just say
to what?
To kill myself?
He is being unreasonable. Keith is right. If your partner goes, that's unacceptable, and you go, well, you better accept it, sister. You're being an asshole.
Because I think he's being perfectly fine.
Yeah, he said he tried to find a compromise with her, but she won't budge. And she's mad at him.
It's not,
what's a compromise? He does side dishes?
Yeah, it's not his compromise. It's not his compromise. I cannot invite you to my family's house and I say, but it'll be okay because I'll protect you. I have to tell you the truth. I can't protect you. They will be shitty to you. I fully understand if you don't want to come, but I do not want to soften this because they won't. Someone's telling you the truth. Remember the movie Get Out? I just said this like last week or something. I only saw like the first half of it. And she was like, it's a black guy. I
only saw the good half.
It's a black guy and a totally rich white girl. And he's like, okay, I'm going to meet your family. And she's like, yeah, it's going to be great. And he's like, do they know I'm black? And she's like, I don't think that matters. Right there, don't go. Right there, don't go. Right there, she's lying to herself. She's lying to you. She's lying to her face. She's lying about everything. It doesn't matter. Don't go. You are not being told the truth, obviously.
I don't
think spoiler, she was lying the whole time.
You don't want to put someone into a really uncomfortable position like this. I mean, she's basically being told, hey, you're going to go to this thing and be forced to do things that you find unacceptable. So
and we're going to call it a party.
You are invited to this thing. This is how this thing runs. Do you want to go? It's like being invited to church. You're invited to church.
I bet the family didn't even invite her. I bet he's I'm making this up, but I bet you he's like, come, I have to show I have a girlfriend. And by the way, wear that skirt.
Okay, all right, I'll meet you at No Assholes here, Hemda.
I mean, he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, this is just how his family functions, and it's really hard.
I don't know. I don't talk to my dad. Hemda doesn't talk to her parents. Where do you get stuck? Where's the confusion?
In the choice.
Well, he obviously wants to have a relationship with them. And he wants her to have a good relationship with them. And again, I just feel like when you go over someone's house, you should be offering to do this stuff anyway. Like, I've never gone over anyone's house and not offered to like pitch in.
Of course, but my first impression is how about the first impression I'm going to get from your family? I don't want to be here. How about we do a first impression with your parents, and then a second impression with another section of your family? Why's the first impression have to be Thanksgiving?
Why?
Because that's the only time
maybe they could go to a restaurant or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, go to a restaurant.
The onus is on OP to create a situation that should be better if this is going to be the worst. I mean, it's like, hey, do you want to attend our family's group orgy?
No.
Maybe that's not the right setting for them.
I know, but then what?
I
She
disagree.
she never goes over to their family events again.
I disagree. I am not putting together a special
Forever.
event that I then have to go and be babysitting you. I'm telling you, there is no event where you will have a different experience. We can see them privately. We could see them amongst other people. I'm telling you, it'll be more fun amongst other people because we'll sort of like drown in the background than you sitting across from my parents. I'm telling you the truth. You don't want to do this, and we don't want to create special invitations where we extra go to their house.
Let me tell you what guys do, and we can all admit we run the world. You ever send a guy to the grocery store and you needed black beans, but they came back with an apple?
Yep.
That's what you do. Fuck the mashed potatoes. You won't be asked again.
AITA for begging my girlfriend to uphold a sexist tradition so she can make a good first impression. Where are we, people? I'm ready to move on.
I say no.
I could go no assholes.
I say he's the. Oh, I can't live with myself if I go no assholes for anything. He's a piece of dog shit. He's a piece of dog shit, and I hope he goes alone and she fucks his friends.
The Barbie movie changed that, man. The Barbie
I know.
movie
I can't believe
him.
the women are on this side and the men are on the other side. Did not see that one coming.
Radicalized by Barbs. All right, we got to do this one just because I'm so fascinated for your guys' take on this. Neither Shannon and I, we don't drink, so I'm curious what you guys think of this. AITA, shame for tipping $1 per shot. I was at my fave local pizza parlor in Chicago, celebrating my friend's B-Day. We ordered several rounds of cocktails and food. There were 6 of us, and on a separate tab, I asked for 2 rounds of shots that I wanted to keep separate since that was my idea to get the birthday girl trash. So I didn't want to make the other tab complicated. After a few hours, we got our checks. I gave my credit card for the 12 shots. It was $10 a shot. My friend put her credit card for the big food drinks tab to make it easy, and we'd Venmo her. When she brought the tabs back out for us to sign, my friend with the big tab tipped 25%. We said fine. For the shots, I tipped $12 total.
For how many shots?
There were 6.
Wow.
There were
and it was $120.
So she said 10% on the shots.
Okay.
As we were getting ready to leave, the waitress comes back to the table and says to me in front of everyone something along the lines of, I just want you to know that I'm now losing money because of your tip, since 80% of this tip will go to the bartender and bar back. So thanks for that.
Nope.
She's
the
the
asshole.
Done.
Done.
Burn her.
I don't
Burn
care.
her burn her alive.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Throw this out.
I'm going to Oppenheimer you guys on this, so don't even. I tried
and
to
I'm going to come
explain-
back in 2 days. Bye. This is silly. She's a cunt.
I tried to explain Barbie did not fix him. I retract that statement. I tried to explain that we weren't trying to short her and that this was a bar tab in any way. I stuck to the $1 drink shot. Mind you, I've worked in the service industry. For that particular tab, the service required was minimal and mostly came from the bartender. So AITA for not tipping more on that tab.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so I have to say I used to work in the service industry, and
I like that we all call it that. I did too. I was in the service industry as well.
I know it kind of sounds dirty a little bit. And I actually remember, like, I did used to get upset about this because the way that the tip out system, as she mentioned, is kind of messed up. I think especially when it comes to alcohol, like we shouldn't have to tip out that much to the bar backs, like, you know,
That's your
these
boss.
other.
That's your boss. When you wanna be mad at it, look up. The boss is higher than you. The customer is below you.
Right. And
Stop
I definitely
dishing it to the people below you. You're arguing when really you're saying, hey, this system doesn't work for me. Talk to your boss or HR or whatever the fuck you got going on over there. These shots didn't work for me. I'm not telling you I didn't get drunk enough. Just do your part.
Right.
Yeah. Because we used to have these shots. I think it was like Clase Azul, and they were like $190 shots, literally. And they would order a bunch and then they would tip us like this. And it really was like we would be tipping out so much to our fellow employees. And it really was criminal, like how much we were getting basically robbed just from having this table.
You know who else is getting robbed? The person who paid $120 for that shot.
No, Hemda. No, Hemda. Rejected.
We're all getting robbed.
You're not getting robbed. You are being a corpulent pig ordering a shot that costs $90, you decadent 1% piece of shit, or at least you're role-playing that you are. Screw you. If you can spend $90 for a shot, you're that fucking stupid. You can afford to tip the server who's making jack squat 20%.
Exactly.
That's the cost of the thing.
Yeah,
so
I
if you want to
agree.
act rich, tip rich.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
There
I
we
just
go.
don't agree that the waiter should or the bartender should come up to you and tell you what's what.
No,
You got
no.
fucked,
This is so tacky.
and somebody else will tip you 50%, and it all evens out at the end. But I am not getting schooled by you. Goodbye.
No,
Change
it's so
the
embarrassing
system.
in front of everyone
Yeah.
too.
That's so rude.
Right. Embarrassing. That's what you were doing. You know, there's the convention. I mean, I could leave here with an ESH, but I want an ESH.
Well, some people
Everyone
don't
sucks.
know that. They don't realize, like, they equate the tip with the amount of work that the person did.
That's not a
And
thing.
a lot of time, and it sucks because a lot of times it's like, no, it's actually, you really should tip on the dollar amount because of the tip out system.
It's
If you're
20%.
such a weird, if you got the balls to say something like that to a customer, then tell me ahead of time. Would I rather sit at the bar? If you got the balls to say that, I never did. I didn't even like to follow somebody if they tried to walk out. I remember working at a restaurant. They walked out and I go, "Hey, you didn't pay." And they're like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't know where to pay." Like, not on 2nd Avenue.
We didn't know where, so we just left.
I still didn't act like, I think you knew. It's
Must
either
be
a
free.
person or a machine. I think you knew.
I think at
Yeah.
a restaurant, it's 20%.
A little louder,
I think,
Danny. You're disagreeing, but still you should be louder.
I think at a restaurant, it's 20%. It's 20%. That's what it is. We all know that's what it is. There's no like, oh, well, I reckon the amount of effort this took is actually slightly less, so I'm going 16% on this one. No,
Yeah,
nobody
you're
cares
right.
what you think. It's 20%. End of story. And I'm sick of these people who will try to make special rules for alcohol. If you're going to be
But if you buy a beer, for example, you don't give 20%. You give more. You give $1. So now we need the rules and a map and a calculator.
You could always give more, Keith. Nobody's
Oh, you
mad
can
at
give
for
more?
being
That's what I was
generous.
saying. You can't trick me. Fuck you. Fuck that waiter.
Oh my God, you podcasting rich podcaster swine. This is disgusting. Anybody who's getting a $10 shot should be sick to their stomach that they would let themselves indulge like this, and then to stiff the waiter on top of it. No wonder you deserve a hangover. I hope you're hungover for a week.
A $10 shot, isn't that normal?
That's crazy. Think of how crazy that is. I don't know. I haven't bought a shot
Yeah,
in
but
10
that's how
years.
much drinks are. Like, no,
I think
that makes
he's
sense.
more upset at Johnny Tesla and the 1%. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Always.
I think it's
Johnny
unrelated.
Tesla.
Yeah, if
Always brings
Pizza
it
is
back.
writing in, he's writing, Danny's right, eat the rich. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about social norms and how to interact with them.
I'm talking about rich. This is a rich purchase. To spend $10 on an ounce of liquid, you're disgusting. That's disgusting to me. That is
What?
very
How much?
upsetting to
How
me.
much did you spend on eggs last brunch?
Eggs?
Yeah.
Well, I spent $20 on eggs. I don't know, for a nice
Why?
eggs
Why?
Benedict.
I buy a whole dozen eggs for $2. Do you want to do the math now? You're an idiot. Are you an idiot for buying eggs for more than $2 a dozen? There's a system.
But that's a prepared dish, Hamda. This is $1 of poison.
I mean, I agree, but I don't drink.
Oh.
But we can't decide that.
Yeah,
Listen,
I
guys,
agree that it's poison, but that's
I can't believe that you people here, including the guy who put his feces into a milkshake, isn't going to say all these MFers who are trying to make up rules. That was Keith, by the way, not
I just
Hamda.
met Shannon today, first of
No
all.
way.
Secondly, shit in his drink. But don't be, do you guys know I'm actually?
Wait.
Shitting's better.
I need to.
This is
I
one
don't
of the
know
greatest.
what you do.
Shannon's-
Was it revenge or something?
Yes, yeah, it was like it was a fancier diner, like diner, but prices of real restaurants.
Okay.
And these group of teenagers came in. Let's say the restaurant closed at 10 o'clock. They came in at 9:59. And it's like, oh, we're about to close. Like, well, you still have another minute. Managers are all sissies, of course, and they're like, oh yeah, come on in or whatever. They all share fries and a milkshake. And so I shat in the milkshake, No, oh, here, I'm sorry. I'm missing an important part, Shannon. Hold on. This is important. They came in, they ordered barely nothing, made a fucking mess. So, you know, the bus boys have to stay late and all that shit for absolutely nothing. Oh, then there's a napkin that said your tip's inside. I open up the napkin, knowing nothing's in there. It's like, fuck you, haha. Then they came back another time late, thinking I wouldn't remember them. Obviously, you're in my diary now.
Yeah, literally.
They ordered the same thing. I shat in the milkshake, gave it to them. They honestly said it's good. I did it again. I put the rest of this shit in. I'll explain. And go, this one's on me, you pieces of shit. This is
honestly how I got COVID.
Kenda was living a crazier lifestyle than this, even somehow. I went downstairs. I shat in a cup. Happened to have a nice, beautiful log. Went upstairs, milkshaked it up. Log. You could smell it reeking from the thing. I'd actually dumped some out and put in more ice cream, but it was so worth it. So beautiful. No regrets. I'm now almost 50. It doesn't bother me for a second.
Shit. That's like The Help.
Yes.
The movie.
Yes. Yeah. And you didn't feel bad for her. You're right. And she was right to do that.
Oh, and this is why you don't fuck with people who are handling your food.
Right.
I don't know why people don't understand this.
Right. I don't know why.
That was the original minimum rage.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you got to be. I mean, this actor strike is going on. Why are you treating actors poorly? They handle your food.
True.
There we go.
I need to make that on the sign next time I go picketing.
All right, can I bring us to an ESH, guys? Come on. These people who are like, well, it didn't take that much effort. It didn't take that much effort. So what do I
can't do it. I can't do it.
Keith.
I don't like the 10% tip. But I don't like the waiter more for pointing it out, because I do think there's a give and take to being a waiter. And I wasn't in that service industry, but I was in a different service industry. And there's
parties.
Yeah. I've done shitty jobs where people just look at me like they're smelling shit, even though I'm not putting it in their milkshake. And it's, you win some, you lose some. Some people treat you like shit. I was going to people's houses about to take care of their kids and be the party for their kids. I did kids parties, and they would, some of them would open the door and go like, oh, can you take the side entrance? Or some of them would open the door and go like, you don't look like Dora. And I'm like, your kids have a better imagination. Trust me. Hola, move. And then some people would open the door and be like, before you set up, would you like food? Here's a tip ahead of time. You win some, you lose some. But I do not, in front of their guests, in front of their party, their time to shine, go, why didn't you do this better? That's not in front of the scenes things. And it's not like you got completely ripped off. That's a different story. And it's not my fault that the system in your restaurant, what you're complaining about is something you should be talking to your boss about, because it's the system. It's not the $10 that I gave you. So yes, I would have been on the waiter's side, but that's crossing a major line. So no, the waiter's an asshole.
I see that.
All right. What are you going to do?
I like this.
Maybe soft.
Sorry, Danny.
You can hear the entire shit milkshake story on my album, Happy to Serve You, by the way.
I'm getting a Mattel tattoo to spite you, Hamda. Shannon, bring us home. We got a dumb one to wrap us up. This is a fun one.
Okay. AITA for not letting my apartment mate or roommate.
Oh, I hate this person. Hip hip.
After she got spat upon by a camel.
A camel spat on her and somebody wouldn't let her in. Okay.
What?
I share an apartment with another woman and we've been decent enough acquaintances. Apparently, she walked out to this fair, like a carnival, that had all sorts of attractions and animals. It was walking distance, about a mile from our unit. I remember it being advertised, but didn't go. Okay. Well, to put it plainly, she got spat on by a camel. She texted me shortly after it happened to warn me and said that she was coming home.
How much spit are you dripping?
Seriously.
I know.
Did you not wipe any of it off? Am I going to really see that you got spat on by a camel a mile after you walked?
I just want to warn you, I'm a hugger.
Yeah, just wait.
Okay.
I saw her coming up the steps looking miserable through the window and went to the porch to greet her. But instantly I was hit with the most unbelievable vile smell I've ever smelled from a good 20 feet away. I really couldn't take it. I got a whiff and I could feel my stomach churning. Went back inside and closed the door. She came up and tried to get inside with her key, but I was practically begging her, no, whatever
You're
happens.
an asshole. You're an
you
asshole.
could not
Oh
come
my
in
God.
like that.
Oh my God. Then how are you going to come in? Where are you going to shower?
Go to the gym. What the fuck is
Fuck
Yeah,
you.
of course.
Oh my God. It's my shower. And when I'm dirty, I go in it.
Right.
She was yelling, what? I live here. And then was practically crying and said she had nowhere else to go. I said, I'm sorry, but there's no way I can let you in here. And
that's going to get solved, by the way. And by the way, next time the other person who got spat on, when your roommate takes a shit, rip her off the toilet because that's disgusting. Throw her outside.
I suggested that she find a hose or shower somewhere or jump in a creek or something, anything, but coming in like that. But she was saying no store would let her in, but held firm. I held the door closed until she walked away. She came back about an hour later, soaking wet. Maybe she had jumped in a creek, and I opened the door and the smell was maybe barely better, but still horrific. She's jumped straight into the shower, but I can still faintly smell it throughout our entire living room, and it's making me absolutely sick. Well, now we're both furious at each other. I'm mad that she came in before the smell was gone. And
you said it was camel spit, not camel shit, right?
Yes, spit.
Okay,
apparently it's really potent. Yeah.
Oh, and this girl is so sensitive.
She's furious that I dared to hold the door shut and keep her out, and saying that she's going to tell the landlord. But I don't know what else I could have done. AITA.
You don't know what else you could have done? You don't know what else you could have done?
Let him have it.
You could, I mean, not even this, but you couldn't even think to give her a bucket of soapy water. Not that, don't get me wrong, you're a piece of shit if you do that, but you couldn't figure anything that could get done.
Go find a creek?
Brutal.
Why? First of all, the fact that I texted you that I'm having a bad day, that's a text. That's not lock the door on me.
She's acting like she got a zombie bite. Like, I gotta warn you now, I got a zombie bite.
I'll never be the same again. Okay. What the fuck?
I Googled it.
I guess this is like a skunk or something.
It could be. Let's say it's a skunk. I still get to go home. It could be the worst, most vile smell. I get to go home.
True.
The camel spit, it's not saliva. They actually throw up into their own mouths and then re-chew it, or they can use it kind of as a weapon or defense system.
Yeah, she had a bad day. I'm not
feel worse for her.
Yeah, I don't feel like, oh, well, she didn't say it smelled bad. We're well aware it's a terrible, terrible situation.
I gotta know where she lives. It better be Montana or something, somewhere with open air.
Or like creeks readily available.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of Dallas, Texas. Go find a creek.
She didn't even say, like, go to the creek down there. She said, find a creek, which means you don't know where the creek is.
Yeah, just a creek.
Go give this to someone else.
Have you guys ever been skunked?
No. Have you?
No, but I had a friend who was skunked, and she told me that it smelled for 1 week, that it was detectable for a full week after, no matter how many showers. Shit. There's nothing you can really do.
I assume she was homeless for a week then, right?
I think she avoided school for 3 of the 4 days or whatever.
Yeah,
but then
there's a difference.
She went in.
You avoid not home.
Cry.
You avoid everything. I have COVID. I'm not getting put out. What the fuck? I don't get to go to the supermarket. I don't get to buy a lotto ticket, no matter how many billions I don't get to go buy weed from a store. But I'm here, and whoever lives here is about to get sick. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of times when people have COVID, you're usually the one that gets to stay home, and then your roommate vacates for the week and goes and stays with a friend or something to try and avoid it.
Or you're sick.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your life.
You guys don't have any exotic animal experiences? I feel like Keith has his Tinder picture as a rhinoceros for a couple years or something.
I was with an unclean woman once.
Oh, you monster. Barbie didn't work. Barbie made him worse.
By the way, if this is the first Keith and the Girl show you're listening to, well, lucky you, right? These two are a fucking treat. We also talked about the Barbie movie last week, if you want to hear that, with Rod Morrow. Very fun show. Let me mention this. The podcast you want to download is Am I the Asshole Podcast? And I think we all agree, right? This the roommate's the bitch. The one that's trying to throw the other one out, right? That's clear. Can we say that? Can we use that word? You ever hear about that failed Barbie?
Says no.
Barbie?
Danny yelled at me for saying the B word.
Oh, good for him.
How about if we say the roommate who didn't get spit on is a Ken?
The roommate that didn't.
But that's going to be confusing.
I'm with it. I'll take it.
Because Kens are assholes.
Right? The roommate that didn't get spit on.
Yeah, the roommate that didn't
get spit on. The one who locked the other one out is a Ken.
Yes.
She's just Ken.
And I forgive your Alan comment. I don't know what it means though, but I still forgive you.
Keith Nuff.
It's a good thing.
You are Keith Nuff.
Nuff. I did like that as a shirt, and I bet a lot of people went out and bought I Am Knuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually was like, when I first saw it, I was like, Cano. Like I was not reading it like Knuff. I was like, I do not understand. The goddamn English never makes any sense.
Well, Danny, thank you for your time again. You're always provocative and great. Shannon, very nice seeing you. If you know, to meet you, we have to know Danny. Fine, I guess. But I mean, if I had to pick, who's the asshole? Hey, I'm not saying it. I'm saying you're a treat.
I've been listening to you guys on AITA Pod when I was just a listener, so it's really great meeting you guys. You're hilarious.
Bless you. Anything else the people should know? Either of you?
AITApod.com, and we'd love to have you guys. We got to have you guys on the show. I missed you guys. But get better first, hem that. You know, I don't want exposure
Not right now.
over Zoom.
I know. You could just smell me from there. Like, it's just so... Just lock the door.
I feel like these AITAs, I think they should have to add pictures of the people. It really would help.
I know. Add a nice
Barbie. Remember
there.
Barbie.
You mean,
it would change our verdicts.
Would you remember Barbie, where you got the biggest IMAX screen? But we don't judge by looks. That's true. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
That's it. Stick around, guys. Unless you have to go, Danny. I know you're saying, but this is going to close out. I just want to say goodbye.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to all the people listening. Click all the buttons in front of you. And they're saying it's $60 on Mattel's website, the Knuff.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Somebody was able to just put that